I'll get this out of the way now. I'm a huge fan of the Raiden games, and I believe I've played every release in the series, including the Xbox 360 version of Raiden 4 that was released way back in 2008, and it's a series that honestly hasn't changed much over the years. It's still the same weapons and power-ups all these years later, and of course, the premise remains the same. Anything that appears on screen, destroy it with extreme prejudice. The real question is, can this game live up to the lofty standards set forth by Raiden Trad on the Sega Genesis? I don't know, but my gut says maybe. So I just mentioned this, but if you've ever played any other game in the Raiden series, you know exactly what to expect here, but with this specific version of Raiden 4, there are a few cool surprises thrown in to justify picking it up. You still get the same classic red, blue, and purple power-ups for your Vulcan machine gun, blue laser, and big winding purple snake laser, which is always fun, but I tend to stick with the Vulcan. Also, you get 3 kinds of missiles, which I greatly appreciate as a connoisseur of missiles. This game does give you a few different ships to choose from, though, and the weapons do vary depending on if you're using the modern Raiden ship, the classic one, or the third option, which is a fairy. Yes, a fairy, and don't laugh at that because she is a merciless killing machine. Aside from the power-ups, what you get here is an amazing shooter with super tight controls, as well as challenging and fun gameplay and explosions. Lots and lots of explosions. Something else that really shakes things up with this release is its variety of gameplay modes. You get the original arcade mode, which is pretty self-explanatory, and you get 2 different difficulty settings to choose from. There's also what's called the additional mode, which is an update of the arcade original, with additional stages and a ton of difficulty settings, as well as a time attack mode and a very fun overkill mode. Here, as the name implies, after you destroy larger enemies, you can continue to shoot their remains for point bonuses, thus making them even more dead than they were before, which is, after all, what they deserve for daring to challenge you. Also, if you'd like to have 2 ships on screen at the same time, but you don't have a second player available, fret not, for there is a double mode included, which allows you to control 2 ships at once, which is pretty tricky, but definitely a fun distraction. If you've got a Nintendo Switch and you love shoot-'em-ups, there's a lot to choose from these days. There's R-Type and Cyvariar and a handful of cave shooters, so by all means play those, but definitely don't overlook this release of Raiden 4 because it features some absolutely amazing gameplay, a ton of different gameplay modes, some nice visuals, and an amazing soundtrack. It's honestly one of the best shooters you can play on the console right now, so I'd highly recommend picking it up, because when the case says Raiden, you just know you're getting something good. Now, if they could only follow in the footsteps of Raiden Trad and port Raiden 4 to the Sega Genesis, as well as Raiden 2, Raiden 3, Raiden DX, Raiden Project, Raiden Fighters, and Raiden 5. All of the Raidens should be on the Sega Genesis, along with all the other shooters ever made. Then, and only then, will there be peace. Or something. I don't know where I'm going with this. Just play Raiden 4.
Awesome!